You wake up tired before the day has even touched you. Your alarm goes off, your eyes open. But instead of feeling like a person beginning a new morning, you feel like a battery that was never plugged in overnight. You reach for your phone before your feet reach the floor. Messages are already waiting. Tasks are already waiting. People are already waiting for the version of you that can answer, perform, solve, smile, and keep going. But somewhere underneath your normal face, something quiet has started to shut down. And the strangest part is not that you feel exhausted. The strangest part is that exhaustion now feels ordinary. Why? For a long time, burnout looked dramatic. It looked like collapsing. It looked like quitting your job, crying in a bathroom, or reaching a point where your body simply refused to move. But modern burnout is quieter. It hides inside small moments. You reread the same email 5 times. You forget why you walked into a room. You stare at a simple task and feel an invisible wall rise inside your chest. Then you blame yourself. You say you are lazy. You say you need discipline. You say everyone else is handling life better than you. But what if your problem is not weakness? What if your brain is responding normally to an abnormal system? To understand why burnout feels normal now, you have to begin with Christina Maslach, the psychologist who helped define burnout as a psychological syndrome caused by chronic workplace stress. A syndrome means a group of symptoms that appear together. Maslach described burnout through 3 main signs: emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced personal accomplishment. In plain English, your energy disappears. Your heart becomes distant, and the work that once gave you meaning starts to feel pointless. You are not just tired. You are emotionally overdrawn. You are spending energy you no longer have. And because modern life rewards constant availability, you may never notice when your account reaches 0. At first, you adapt. You answer one more message. You accept one more responsibility. You push through one more week, because pushing through has always worked before. But adaptation can become a trap. Hans Selye, the scientist who studied stress and described the general adaptation syndrome, showed that the body responds to pressure in stages. First comes alarm. Your system detects demand. Then comes resistance. Your body tries to keep functioning under the pressure. Finally, if the pressure never ends, exhaustion arrives. Exhaustion is not a moral failure. It is the cost of staying in resistance too long. So when your life gives you no true recovery, your body does not become stronger forever. It becomes depleted. But modern culture has taught you to confuse depletion with adulthood. You call it being busy. You call it ambition. You call it having responsibilities. You even feel guilty when you rest, because rest looks like falling behind. And that is where burnout becomes socially invisible. If everyone around you is exhausted, exhaustion stops looking like a warning sign. It starts looking like the price of belonging. You see people joking about needing 3 coffees to feel human. You see people answering emails at midnight. You see people bragging about being booked, drained, overwhelmed, and unavailable. Slowly, your brain learns a dangerous rule. If exhaustion is everywhere, maybe exhaustion is normal. But common is not the same as healthy. A room full of smoke does not make smoke safe to breathe. It only makes coughing feel less unusual. The second reason burnout feels normal now is that your brain is being interrupted before it can recover. You do not just work anymore. You context switch. Context switching means your attention is forced to jump between different mental worlds. One moment you are answering a message. Then you are reading a report. Then you are checking a notification. Then you are trying to remember what you were doing before your attention was stolen. Daniel Kahneman, the psychologist who studied attention and decision-making, described mental effort as limited. In plain English, your brain does not have infinite fuel for focus. Every decision, every interruption, every tiny act of self-control spends some of that fuel. So, even if your body has not moved much, your mind can feel like it has been dragged through traffic all day. This is why you can sit at a desk and still feel physically crushed. Your nervous system is not measuring only movement. It is measuring demand, and modern demand arrives from everywhere at once. Work follows you home. News follows you into bed. Other people's emotions follow you through screens. Even relaxation becomes another task to optimize. Did you meditate correctly? Did you sleep enough? Did you drink water? Track habits. Respond to friends. Improve your career. Build a side project. Heal your inner child. And stay informed about the world. The list never ends. So your brain begins to protect itself by caring less. This is the part people misunderstand. Cynicism is often treated like a bad attitude. But in burnout, cynicism can be a psychological defense. It is your mind putting emotional distance between you and the demands that keep hurting you. You stop caring because caring has become expensive. You stop feeling proud because pride requires energy. You stop getting excited because excitement creates hope. And hope creates disappointment when nothing actually changes. Does that sound familiar? The third reason burnout feels normal now is that your motivation has been separated from meaning. Edward Deshi and Richard Ryan developed self-determination theory, a major theory of human motivation. It says people need autonomy, competence, and relatedness to feel psychologically alive. Autonomy means you feel some ownership over your choices. Competence means you feel capable and effective. Relatedness means you feel connected to other people in a real way. Burnout grows when these needs are quietly starved. You may have tasks, but no control. You may have goals, but no sense of progress. You may have constant communication, but no real connection, so your life looks active from the outside while feeling hollow from the inside. This is why productivity advice often fails a burned out person. It tells you to make a better schedule. It tells you to wake up earlier. It tells you to block distractions and use sharper systems. But if the deeper problem is that your effort has lost meaning, a cleaner calendar cannot fix the emptiness. It can only organize the exhaustion. Imagine you are carrying a backpack. At first, it is light. Then someone adds a stone, then another, then another. Each stone seems small enough to tolerate an email, a deadline, a family obligation, a financial worry, a difficult conversation you are avoiding, a future you are supposed to build while maintaining the present you are barely surviving. No single stone feels dramatic enough to justify stopping. So you keep walking. And because you keep walking, people assume the backpack is not too heavy. Eventually, even you believe that. You forget what lightness felt like. This is how burnout becomes identity. You no longer say you are experiencing burnout. You say, this is just who you are now. Tired, irritable, numb, behind. Hard to impress, hard to excite. Always almost catching up. But a state repeated long enough can start to feel like a personality. That does not make it your true self. It only means your nervous system has lived there too long. The fourth reason burnout feels normal now is learned helplessness. Martin Seligman studied learned helplessness, which means that after repeated experiences of not being able to change a painful situation, the brain may stop trying even when escape becomes possible. In plain English, your mind learns, nothing I do matters. At first you try to improve things. You set boundaries. You plan better. You sleep earlier. You say no once. But then the workload returns. The pressure returns. The expectations return. So your brain starts conserving hope. It whispers, why bother? This is not laziness. It is protection after too many failed attempts at control. You continue functioning, but you stop believing that functioning will lead anywhere. That is one of the darkest parts of modern burnout. It does not always make you stop. Sometimes it makes you continue without feeling alive. You attend the meeting. You answer the message. You finish the task. You smile at the right time. But inside, there is a quiet distance between your body and your life. You are present, but not participating. You are productive, but not connected. You are moving, but not arriving. And because the world keeps rewarding the movement, no one sees the disappearance. The counterintuitive truth is that burnout often looks like competence. It looks like reliability. It looks like being the person who can handle things. It looks like the one who says yes, figures it out, stays calm, and does not make the problem bigger. This is why high-functioning burnout can be so dangerous. The outside world receives your performance and assumes you are fine. But your performance may be powered by fear, shame, and habit instead of genuine energy. You are not running on passion anymore. You are running on threat. Threat says, if you stop, everything will fall apart. Threat says, if you rest, someone will judge you. Threat says, if you admit you cannot do this, you will become replaceable. So your body stays in emergency mode while your face stays professional. What happens when emergency mode becomes your normal setting? Your sleep becomes lighter. Your patience becomes thinner. Your joy becomes harder to access. Your attention becomes fragmented. Small problems feel personal. Simple choices feel heavy. People you love begin to feel like more demands on a system with no space left. Then you feel guilty for being distant, and guilt becomes another demand. This is how burnout moves from work into relationships. You do not only lose energy for tasks, you lose emotional availability. A message from a friend feels like homework. A family dinner feels like performance. A partner's need feels like pressure. Even love can begin to feel like another inbox. That is not because you stopped caring. It is because caring requires capacity. And capacity cannot be faked forever. So what actually breaks the spell? Not a single weekend, not one inspirational video, not one productivity hack. Burnout begins to loosen when your brain receives repeated evidence that life is allowed to contain recovery, boundaries, meaning, and real choice. Recovery means your body gets time when no one is extracting output from you. Boundaries mean your yes becomes trustworthy because your no becomes possible. Meaning means your effort connects to something more human than endless maintenance. Choice means your nervous system remembers that you are not only a machine responding to demands, you are a person. But this is difficult because modern life often praises the burned out version of you. It likes the version that replies fast. It likes the version that never needs anything. It likes the version that turns pain into productivity. So healing can feel like disappointing people who benefited from your depletion. That is why the first step may not feel peaceful. It may feel like guilt. It may feel like fear. It may feel like becoming irresponsible, even when you are finally becoming honest. Your nervous system may resist rest, because rest removes the noise that has been covering the emptiness. In silence, you might notice how tired you are. You might notice how angry you are. You might notice how long you have been treating your own needs like interruptions. But noticing is not failure. Noticing is the return of signal. Burnout numbs you, so you can survive. Awareness wakes you so you can change. The real question is not how to become endlessly productive again. The real question is what kind of life requires you to disappear in order to keep up. Because if burnout feels normal now, it may be because you have been trained to measure your worth by your output, your speed, your usefulness, and your ability to endure what should have been questioned. But you are not a machine with feelings attached. You are a nervous system with limits. You are a mind that needs meaning. You are a body that keeps score, even when your calendar pretends everything is fine. So the next time you wake up tired before the day has even touched you, pause before calling yourself lazy. Maybe your body is not betraying you. Maybe it is telling the truth before your life is ready to hear it.